Hey, I'm sitting down today with Stephen Kuhn, the head of Quality of Life Enterprises. We're going to talk today about how to make your website an employee and how you need to be the brand of your nonprofit. Stephen, how the heck are you?
Doing great, brother. Missing your company around here, man. That was a trip, the visit you had over here to Hungary a few months ago. Pretty the kids miss you.
Oh, it was great. I got to go spend a week with you in Vienna and Budapest and hang out with the family. Was
Yeah.
that last November? Oh, it's been almost a year already.
Wow, that is wow. It just seems like a few months ago. Yeah, I guess it is already a long time ago. I guess that COVID sort of shortened time, collapsed time since we were stuck at home.
It is definitely a time warp.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell the guests, tell the audience what you do with Quality of Life Enterprises and what that
Quality
means?
Life Enterprises is with my business partner Lane Balone, also a military veteran, Special Forces Green Beret, and together we wrote a book called Unleash Your Humble Alpha, which is about rewriting societal expectations for men. Turns out more women and mothers read that book than men do. So because they want a man like we describe in that book, and they want to raise children like we describe in that book. So actually the book has taken us on a path of training leaders on how to get away from taking their power and their presence from a title or a position, and actually taking it from who they really are, their true identity, purpose, and then through that they create certainty and having that integration through all areas of life as the same person. And it turns out that most people don't have that. And that's where quality of life comes from. Actually, one of the 5 principles that we discuss is quality of life, that's what everyone strives for in the end. If you boil it all down, everything we want at the end of the day is quality of life, whether it's a new car or a vacation or just more time with family. It's all about quality of life.
Yeah, I think it's important to know that you can design what you want your life to look like. And
Yeah.
you can do it from day one. You can make the decisions and get the certainty you're talking about to make it happen for yourself. And that's it's one of the big reasons that you're so successful. It's one of the reasons that I've been experiencing the success that I have because I've decided, I've been certain
Yeah.
about this. I'm doing this, I'm moving forward, and this is what it's going to be. So what does you look at nonprofits very differently and you look at how to run this stuff differently, and you actually can make a website be an employee and actually work for you and do the work for you, and you don't
Right.
have to do every little detail. What does that look like?
This could be a long conversation, but every website out there, it doesn't matter if you're a nonprofit or not, should be working for you. If it's not working for you, you might as well just hang a card in the window, you know, because who's going to find it? How are they going to get there? Why would they come back? You see a lot of nonprofit websites. Hey, this is our mission. This is our vision. This is maybe our value proposition. Here's a couple pictures of whatever. Please donate. Maybe I'll go and donate, but I'll never go back. Why would I? Right? There's nothing there to keep me there. So with the nonprofits that I've worked with in Europe, one of them is making about 500K a month passive donations. The other ones are making around 100K a month passive donations. And when I say passive donations, everyone seeks that big donor every year, like fall time. All right, between September, December, fundraising, right? And everybody's running around trying to get that big Wells Fargo check or whatever it is, Chase Manhattan check 5 million. Woo-hoo, we did it for next year again. And then you go out and spend a third of that money having balls to raise money, right? Or galas events, or you sell the plates for $1,000, and you're blowing all this money on stuff to make money to raise more money instead of using what's right in front of you, and that is your website. So what you want to try to do in our case is what we've done, and this is how we stabilize. See, raising funds every September is not stable. It's not sustainable. You're going to run out one day. Someone's going to say, look, I can't support you this year. It's bad. It's a downturn. This could be one of those years, for instance, right? So how are you going to sustain your revenue? And let's face it, it is revenue because you're going to need it. Is that you take many donors, very small donations. And that's what the focus is for building the foundation of a nonprofit that should be around for a while. And there's a few ways to do that. We, for instance, in Germany, on one of our donations, on the page, the pop-ups, donate for this. Like, this is what we do. This is what you get out of it. And this is how you donate. And it says donate. It says you want to do $3, $6, or $9 euros. That's it, 3, 6, or 9 euros.
Mhm.
But you have 500,000 people donating $3. You have 100,000 people donating. You have 50,000 people, 20,000 people donating $33 a month. You see what I'm saying? You see where I'm coming from here? So if you lose 200 or 300 donors in 1 month. That's like nothing. $600, $800. You know what I'm saying? If you lose one anchor donor, you're done. You're done. So in order to get those small donations, you don't want to be standing outside passing out flyers and here, go here and donate through. It needs to be automated on your website. But how are people going to find your website? Right. So
Right.
getting
Get
traffic,
1,000
right,
people, 500,000 people to your website.
right. But this is the problem. You send them to the website, maybe you do ads, and they land there, and all you're doing is asking them to donate or to buy a tumbler, and that'll be donated to this, that, or the other. There's no compelling reason for me to stay there. There's no compelling reason for me to buy unless I'm really attached to this one specific, like it's called A Child's Story, I think it is. And it's about children from veterans. And I was reading this story in the newspaper or an online newspaper about this veteran who died and their kids needed help. And there's this organization that helped them. So I looked up the organization because I read about it in an article and I donated.
Mm-hmm.
I never heard of that donation, of that thing before. It's been around for 24 years or something like that. I've never even heard of it. So if you're not getting out there, getting PR, getting in front of people and stuff, and you're not the brand, it's going to be really difficult to get people to your website. But let's face it first. Building a website, sending traffic to it isn't going to do much. Maybe you'll get a little blip, but 1 to 3% of the people donate or buy on the first time they see anything. So they're either going to buy or they're going to donate, maybe 1 to 3%. Everyone else has to have multiple touches, right, to see what you're about. So what you want to do is you want to build your website that way, and there's a few things you can do to do that. This is proprietary information, so let me see here. Let's just put it this way. You can do questionnaires. You can have bloggers on there. You can have petitions on there. And for instance, every month you rotate the petition. Every week you rotate the question of the week. The bloggers, we became the largest blogger newspaper in one of the European countries here in 1 month. From zero, we started, 1 month later, we were the largest. All we did was invite all bloggers to post their information on our blogger, on our blog section of the website. And boom, we had 250 bloggers overnight. So you want to find your demographic, who are they talking about, who are they blogging about, and what's going to happen. They're going to send it to their people. They're going to backlink it to their website. Next thing you know, you got traffic coming back because people are then commenting on these blogs and going back. Then they see the petition. They click on the petition. When they fill out, like for instance, it could be whatever it is that's related to your nonprofit. Let's say, sign a petition to, I don't know, fix the VA or whatever. I'm just out of the air. As soon as they sign up for that petition, guess who has their email? You do, right? Question of the week. You put a pixel on there. They answer the question of the week. Boom. Now you can follow them. You see what I'm saying? So it's actually very simple if you think about it conceptually.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone who visits your website, you tag them with a pixel. Anyone who comes in and signs a petition, you have their email, direct marketing. I mean, there's all kinds of things you can do. But if there's no reason for them to come back, i.e. conversation with the bloggers, commenting on the bloggers, finding the favorite blogger, regular content, get RSS feeds in there from news, anything, any news alerts about anything that has to do, like for instance, if it's veteran suicide, every veteran suicide should be listed there. Every story about veteran suicide should be there. It should be the go-to place to read about freaking veteran suicide, and not just your opinion on veteran suicide, but actually the global view on veteran suicide, if that's your nonprofit. And this way, people are going to be like, oh, that's a great news source. I don't have to look around and find something. I know it's all going to be there. So these are all factors that are going to keep driving people back and back and back, giving you their pixel, giving you their email, so that you can then multiple touch them. When you get to 12, they're gonna, and they're still there, they're gonna donate. It's between 5 and 12 touches that really, really picks up. So setting this up on your website, you want to set up a petition website, which is really simple. You just put up a petition, sign a petition. You do a cooperation or a link. I think there's a way to do it. Our tech guy did it, where we have our own petition, but we then put it through to the Bundestag of the country, or the parliament of the country. We put it into the Congress in America, or with that and that kind of stuff. So things that actually matter and that you're actually going to do. Question of the week is always something. The thing about the question of the week, depending on your nonprofit, and this is I'm just telling you how it is. Segmenting your audience is key, because you want to know how to talk to them. So if I have a question and I say, for instance, is Donald Trump doing a good job with the peace deal that he just did with Israel and UAE. Yeah. Everyone who says yes, I'm pretty sure they're conservative. Everyone who says no, I'm pretty sure they're liberal.
Mm-hmm.
So right there, I can segment those two audiences. So now I know I can talk differently to the liberals as I do to the conservatives, as an example. And then you can do it again and again and again with different subject matters. Oh, okay, this, and then you want to split it down. And this is how you get really, really, really personal with these. When we started with 3 people, we now have, I think we got 6 full-time journalists, 3 techies full-time. When I get something out of America that's new news, it's translated and on the website in 10 minutes. Not for me. I just send it over. Boom, here, boom, boom, on the website. Because it's now a news website for certain subjects. So it metamorphosed from a political sort of pressure group kind of thing. And now it's like a news group. We have interviews. We have a YouTube TV show professionally produced. And we still have the petitions, and we still have the questions, right? And we still have the micro donations. And this is where the stability comes from. People are so hot on getting those big donations. It drives me mad, especially when I talk to them and tell them this, what I just told you right now. And they're like, yeah, but I just need that one. All right. All right, man. One day you're not going to get it. So yeah, that's pretty much the making your website an employee.
Oh, absolutely. And it's amazing that you talk about getting all of these people involved for micro donations. I talked to a gal last night about doing a membership-based foundation because they want to give scholarships. I was like, what does it take to be $100,000 donation? It takes 100 people at $84 a month. And she's like, what? It takes 200 people at $42 a month, or 400 people at $21 a month. Yeah. If you have that right there, you've got the $100,000 for the foundation that you're looking for. And she's like, it's that simple. I'm like,
yeah.
It's that
numbers.
Talk to the right
numbers.
people. You're looking for that one person to give you the $100,000. That's going to take time. That's going to take effort. That's going to take relationships. That's going to take months.
And it's one time.
And it's once. It's not recurring.
One time. Yeah.
It's not recurring. When you go back to court them again the next year, you have to go back through all of the same stuff. You have to resell them again on your mission. You got to show that you're meeting your mission, that you're doing what you said you were going to do with it, and you have to get to them before someone else does. It's like, oh, I donated to you last year. I just donate to some person new every year, and you've lost something that has nothing to do with you. Gone forever.
Yeah, well, that's basically what we do with the micro donations. It's $3 a month, $6 a month, or $9 a month. It's what it is, and for that they get all the news first, and they have personal interviews and all kinds of stuff, and it's really metamorphosed into something that's the 5th most clicked website in that country, literally from 3 of us,
which is amazing. And I know, just listening to this and just knowing what my viewership and my audience thinks about, they're like, well, how do I find bloggers? Well, you already know the people that are in your industry. And if you don't know them, you can just Google whatever. We just talked about veteran suicides. You go through, you click through, you type in veteran suicides, and you see who is writing those articles. And even if they don't want to write directly for you, maybe they'll allow you to take their RSS feed and put it in your website. So when people are looking for them, they find you by accident, and all of a sudden they see this resource. They see the level of information where they can get exactly what they need. It's not it's not covered in ads. It's not
right.
Your click is like celebrity news, unless it's a nonprofit. But you're not being distracted by all this other stuff. That's really cool. And the segmenting the audience, you know how to write copy in an email to get them to, are you upset about this thing? You use President Trump as an example, and you're like, no, he's not doing a good job. The beginning of your email is like, are you upset about this, that, and the other? You know exactly where they're at. People think you have to give out of love. People give out of hate.
Yeah.
If you look what Black Lives Matter is doing.
People vote out of hate. People vote out of hate.
Vote. They'll vote out of hate. They'll give out of hate. They'll. You don't have to be happy to give. You don't have to.
And it's not manipulation. It's actually the whole purpose of that is meeting them where they are.
Right.
You can't ever pull anyone to you if you're trying to sell something or get donations. You have to meet them where they are. Psychologically, it's got to be in that space where they don't have to like try to understand anything. You got to meet them right there. And if they're mad, you got to meet them where they're mad.
Absolutely. And collecting emails, I don't think nonprofits do this very well. They don't
Nope.
collect emails, and if they do collect emails, they are not sending out emails with updates. Hey, this is the new thing. Hey,
Yeah.
new whatever it is.
They
They're not.
said they do collect emails. They say sign up for our newsletter, and then you get a newsletter every quarter, maybe, because they don't want to bug you. And it's just like the same old stuff. And it's like, why do you even send this out? You know, first of all, a pop up with sign up is no. There. Why would I? There's no reason for me to, just because you're asking me to, right?
Right.
But if I sign a petition and I click that box, I can send you third party or whatever it is, the new whatever it is, GDRP here in Europe. Then you're already in. You always click that without even thinking about it. And you get an email, hey, thanks for signing the petition, yada, 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 confirm your email, boom, you're in. And then what you want to do is to that specific subject matter that they opted into, that's what you start sending them messages on. And it can be a 4-liner, a 3-liner, a 2-liner with at the end, hey, thanks for supporting us. Go check out this part of the website where we put all the news or whatever. And you just lead them in there. And you just, literally, we do once a week now. We used to do it more often. We do it once a week now. And, we send out probably over 500,000 emails every time for the one. Yeah.
And people sitting there thinking like 500,000 emails, that's ridiculous. Well, what's the conversion rate? Well, even if you have 1%, what is that? 5,000 people saying yes to something?
Yep.
And 5,000 people are saying yes to a $3 offer. That's 15 grand from that one email.
Yeah.
Can you build? Can you grow? Can you deliver your mission if you get 15 grand out of one email? Absolutely.
Per month extra. And they're already donating. Some of them, there's a lot of them are already donating. So there's, God, we could just go on. It's like a rabbit hole with this, because it just, one thing leads to the other. And, people want to feel good about giving. America, for instance, is the number one donor country in the world. They donate more money in America than anywhere else on the planet. That's just who we are as a people. And that's something to be leveraged, taken advantage of, or whatever you want to call it. Right. If you're really in a space where you're going to make a difference. My issue is there's a lot of nonprofits that are just, there's no real, like, what's the story here? What are they, I'm trying to get it started up. I need some donation. And my big issue is when I do talk to nonprofits, and I tell them exactly what I'm telling you right now, they're like, well, nah, I think we're good, or we can't afford it, or whatever. I'm like, I didn't even tell you what it would cost. You have no idea. What the pushback to breaking away from that traditional fundraising is immense. It's immense. Crazy.
Why would I work my tail off and go through the cycle of donor contact and all this, that, and the other, and just, it's like martyr syndrome. It's like they have to feel the pain in order to deliver the value. You don't have to feel the pain to deliver on your mission.
Nope.
It's not running it based on your guilt. People aren't giving it based on your guilt. Your guilt is not a factor in this.
No, and it's not about you anyway.
It's
not about that person. It's about whoever the money's going to.
Oh, that's on your end. It's a whistle.
Oh, you can hear that? Yeah, that's my kids. I'm sorry. You can actually hear that in the microphone. That's strange.
That happens. That's okay.
It's my daughter's birthday.
Oh yeah, no, it's wonderful.
Yeah.
I was like, is that you? I was like, Cole, what are you doing?
Your dog's blowing a whistle.
Don't worry, my team will edit this out. No big deal.
Okay, let me tell him to stop 1 second. Let me have him stop it. Yes, 1 second.
Okay.
There's like 10 people out there, so.
Isn't that great?
Quit fucking blowing the whistle. No.
Your house is full of people.
Yeah.
There
people.
Time.
Okay, so let's cut back in there.
Okay. So we talked before the episode started about branding and how branding is really the person, the executive director, the founder, the leader of your nonprofit is the brand.
Yeah.
That matters so much. Why does that matter?
Well, because people want to talk to a person that has the influence in that organization or is famous. And that look at Lieutenant Dan, Gary Sinise. You know, just because he's there, people come and donate. If you look at political nonprofits, right? They have that icon, they have that person there. If you look at, or they have very, very strong connections and coordinations and collaborations with big, huge brands like, you know, Under Armour, for instance, if you know what I mean. So, but in the end, people want to talk to a person who embodies that nonprofit or who embodies that company, just like any other company. You know, I work with a lot of brands, and there's a private equity company, and the owner really wants to come out as a brand of his own company. He's always marketed the name of his company, but not him.
Mm-hmm.
And he's asking me how I did it, because, you know, I'm known in my branch sort of, or in my area. And it's just because everything that I do is me being the brand, right? Even in QOL Enterprises with Lane has his own brand of Lane Balone, and I have my own brand of Stephen Kuhn. Mm-hmm. And it's Lane Balone and Stephen Kuhn at Quality of Life Enterprises. So when I'm out there, hey, there's the, you know, whatever nonprofit name guy,
mm-hmm.
you know, and they go over and talk to you and say, hey. And so this is what I would do. Look at your nonprofit, align yourself with that. If you're aligned with that nonprofit, it's fairly easy. Get your name out there as a person that does everything, but you got to talk about yourself, your experiences, what brought you to that. Tell the stories, you know, stories sell. Tell the stories about why you're doing this, what it has to do with you. And it can't be like, I lost a friend, and that's why I'm doing this now. It's got to be deeper than that. You got to talk about it all the time, right? And then you got to get on podcasts, and more podcasts. You know, I'll tell you a story. I went online less than 3 years ago for the first time. Like, seriously, I was on Facebook with pictures of my wife and kids. That was about it. And then I said, man, I want to stay home. I don't want to travel anymore, because I traveled 20 years, 4 days a week after the military. And I decided to stay home. And my wife's like, what are you going to do? I said, I have no idea. So I went online, found a demographic that I matched with, which happened to be the veteran space. Mm-hmm. Went into the veteran space, 3,000 people in that group, in a Facebook group. And I asked the owner, hey, could I just give free advice here? And I started marketing myself as the guy who gives business advice. And no joke, no website, no business cards, no nothing, no logo, no nothing, just me. Made $100K in 3 months from without even asking, because I gave free value every day, a live 15-minute live every single day. And people would come back to me and say, hey, it sounds great. And I would give them the full answer. I wouldn't like hold back, just give them the full solution. And they'd be like, can you do it for me? And that's how I started making a lot of money. I was like, well, that's pretty cool. So I built that out, and I realized it was the people wanting to talk to me, because in that same 3 months, I got booked on 4 stages in America to speak at military events because of me, not because of my consulting,
Right.
Because of me, my stories that I told, the background that I sort of elevated a little bit. I mean, didn't elevated it from the past. You know, I mean, I didn't embellish it. I'm not like that, but I elevated it. I let people know what I've done. Like, oh, you're the bodyguard for Mick Jagger? Yeah, I did that. You know, you have to let that stuff out, but you don't dump it on your front page.
Right.
You know, you gotta tell it through stories and things that happen, and people got to be surprised and all these kind of things. And that's how you build a brand. People want to know who you are for real, but you got to realize you have to be integral when you do that. Otherwise, you're going to fall flat in your face one day or the other if you're not full of it. If you're not basing everything on integrity. I mean, I've been doing it now for 3 years. I'm still, you know, spotless. I think there's maybe 2 people that don't like me or whatever, but who knows why? That's their issue. But everyone else has no problem with me. I'm straightforward, honesty, integrity, transparency is how I live. It's my core principles. Some people call me the Hitman because of that, which I'm not going to turn down. I sort of like that name. You know, so all of that was me building my brand. So I built the brand. Then I labeled HIT, which I had been training anyway for 15 years. You know, training other people for 15 years. And then it just went from there, and just more and more, and building it out, brought Lane in, we built some more stuff out, wrote the book, And in 3 years, we're a pretty well-known brand in the veteran space.
Yeah, absolutely. And you got people like Mark Zuckerberg, who is Facebook. You have Elon Musk, who is Tesla. You had Steve Jobs, you know, when he was live. But people forget part of that story where Steve Jobs was kicked out and cast aside out of Apple. And he took that time, I believe, at Pixar, and he really focused on who he was. It wasn't his title anymore.
Nope.
Find out who he was. And when Apple decided to bring him back, he was unstoppable. He was certain. He knew who he was. He did it not based on title, but based on him
Yeah.
as
He left as a CMO or whatever he was in his little pirate off-base pirate thing there, came back as Steve Jobs, the Steve Jobs, and crushed it. It just absolutely crushed it. And he passed it on to his team, who he then entrusted and pushed and sort of brought them to the point where they came up with products that didn't exist before, like just massive, ba, 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 ba. And that doesn't happen by calculating. That happens by dreaming and thinking big and huge. Yeah.
So this is one of your other things that you teach called creating space, where you give
Yeah.
people the latitude to come up with these things,
Yeah.
solve unsolvable problems. What is
Right.
the concept of creating space?
It's probably the most powerful concept that we use. It's how I win every conversation. It's how I get almost anything that I really want, including from my wife. And the best thing about it, it's not NLP where you're manipulating and conniving and reading body language. None of that. You see, in a conversation, in life, basically, the only thing that we really, really, truly 100% control is our intention. So what's your intention when you walk into a meeting? When I walked into the room today and started talking to you, what's my intention? My intention is to add value by solving problems. You have problems for your listeners. I'm gonna add value by solving the problems, giving you solutions. No cookie cutter solutions, no preconceived notions, because who knows where this discussion is going to go. And of course, I have zero expectations, unless I verbalize them. So you show up wholly and fully for that person in front of you. No expectations, no cookie cutter solutions, no preconceived notions, with one intention and one intention only, and that is to add value by solving problems. And that creates a complete empty space around both of you, even if you're not in person, and both of you step into that, and that really leads to greatness. It really leads to greatness. It's what some people call the mastermind. Two people come together, it clicks, and suddenly you're coming out with ideas and solutions that you alone, me or you, would have never come up with. And this is how I do every consulting gig. This is how I do every meeting that I have. I'm in M&A pretty heavily now. I'm a senior partner in a private equity firm, and I joined that company not too long ago. And I'm already senior partner, and I've taken over the coaching for all the 20 partners, the one-on-ones and coaching and things like that. And that's not because I'm a great guy, because I know how to bring the best out of them by allowing them to step into their greatness by creating space. And if I walked up to Andrea Bocelli, got an appointment with him the next day, and I got a retainer and worked for him for 2 years. He never met me before that. Same thing with Olivia Newton-John and Mick Jagger. Never met me before that. Why? I created space. They felt no push, no pull. I didn't want it. I was there, showing who I was, in my presence, full present as who I was, not a title, not a position, just me creating that space. And people just want that warmth. They feel that space in front of them. They step into it and they go, wow, this guy makes me feel good. This girl makes me feel that. Why do I feel so at ease with them? Because I don't want anything from you. I'm not pushing. I'm not pulling. I'm not shoving. I'm not trying to trick or connive or NLP. None of that, I'm literally there. And the expectation is not there to close, to win, or anything. The expectation is not there at all. It's only the intention. Powerful, man. It's so powerful.
It is. And the people listening right now, they don't really understand. They don't get it. And the reason they don't get it is because there's all these strings attached to everything they do all the time.
Yeah.
I got the chance, we mentioned it earlier, I got to fly out. I was in Bahrain. I had some time off. I flew out to Vienna to see you speak at a hotel convention, which you're not in the hotel biz and neither am I.
No.
And we were making connections and doing things there. We went like an hour west of Vienna to Christoph? Yes. Christoph's gym that he was putting together, kind of bad timing in the but I get to see you live in action, and I get to spend a week with your family and see what you did every day. And I can't tell you or anyone listening to this another time where I have felt more at peace, just in general, overall at peace. And when it ended and it happened in the gym, you're like, hey, where'd you go? My mind started being on all the things I had to do, my to-do list. Where was I going to be? What was I going to do? And you brought me right back into it. But while I was there experiencing, I didn't even understand how relaxed I was until I wasn't anymore. And I look back and saw that pace that I was in. And the stuff that we talked about and the creating things that I did on the flight back to Turkey um, was unimaginable. I
Yeah.
put so much down on paper. I got so much set up. I got the structure for this podcast, everything built out to where I'm creating the mastermind, the way I do my coaching style. All of that thing was from just that one section of a couple of days where we hung out together.
Yeah.
It was all there.
Yeah, and there was no like goal there. There was no want. It was just an intention just to add value, and we just talked, right? We didn't say, well, let's I want to do this and I want to do that. It wasn't that at all. It was literally letting go of all of that stuff that just keeps your mind clouded, keeps you focused on one thing, driving in one direction. Where the world's 360 degrees, man. You know, there's more than one dimension. So if you allow yourself to see that, the world just loosens up. And you saw it here. I live that. I work 4 hours a day, 3 hours a day, maybe. And it's not because I'm lazy or because I'm making a lot of money. It's because that's how I want to live my life. That keeps me at ease. That keeps me relaxed. And did we go see Michael at the lake? No, I don't think we did we? It was too far.
We did. We went to the Castle Buddha on the Fisherman's Wharf. Went down to the Danube. And we went shopping.
That's right. I remember that. Yeah, you were looking darn good when you were in that European style, the jacket, the boots, and stuff. Yeah, look good.
I went back to Bahrain and talked to the tailor there, and now my closet is full of that style suits, jackets, shirts, all that stuff. So
Awesome,
when I'm
bro.
my casual wear, I'm looking pretty sharp, and that's definitely attributed to your bespoke look.
Yeah, well, everyone says, oh, I don't care. I don't want to dress any special. If you can't handle me how I am, then it's your problem. First impressions are there, whether you like it or not.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to present, again, you got to meet them where you're at. You're not going to go to, a jackhammer place in a suit, right? Would you ever do that? Of course not. But you're not going to go to a lawyer's office in a t-shirt and sweatpants. It's just, you just don't do that. You want to meet them where they are. And if anyone says, like I've had these guys, they come and they wear like disgruntled veteran t-shirts at an event, and you're like, or I had a guy when I was running this corporation, 87 locations, 3,500 people. The CEO is there, the board of directors. This guy shows up with a jacket on, like a suit jacket, and underneath it, an FU t-shirt at a board meeting. And
Wow.
the CEO looked at the owner, said, "Fire him," just like that. Just fire him. I don't even care how. Just get rid of him. It's that impression you give. Like, it's not cool to say, "I don't care what you think about me." It's not cool. That means you don't care about them either.
Right.
And that's, people want to hear that you care about them. If you're going to talk to them, that you really want to meet them where they are, that you really want to see about them and help them, elevate them, and, add value to their life, invest in that relational capital. There's a concept we have, we call it, life enterprise. Just like a CEO of a business enterprise, we're the CEO of our own life enterprise.
Mm-hmm.
And that means we answer to who? To the stakeholders, right? Who are the stakeholders? Everyone we meet. It's our family, our friends, everybody. It's everyone we meet. And what's the job of a CEO? Does a CEO treat a stakeholder bad? You better believe he doesn't, or else he won't have his job anymore.
Right.
Same thing goes in our lives. We're here to elevate, to invest in, to make them feel good, to leave them in a better place than when you met them. And I mean every day, every person. And honestly, after you do it for a while, well, you saw me in the gym, right? Bob, hey, and every person we talk to, every waiter or waitress, you always leave them with a little spark. Mm-hmm. So they walk away and they're like, huh. And what that does, that creates radiant value, ripple effect in your life enterprise. And all these people out there right now demonstrating and protesting and things like that. If they want real change, they're going to start at home in their life, in their enterprise. That's where true change comes. People who are fighting global warming, climate change. Are you recycling? Are you not wasting water? All this kind of stuff. Right? People are too quick to jump out to have the badge of honor of I'm protesting. But at home, they're not living the life. They're not living what they're speaking. So I always say, start with your life enterprise first and get it straight. Treat your stakeholders the way they should be treated, and quit treating them like, bad people, or ignoring them, or talking bad to them, or flipping off your neighbors and all kind of stuff. Just stop it. It's going to change your life forever. You're going to be, and then you're going to see much more clear. You're going to see much more clear everything that's around you, the opportunities that are around you, the new people that you've never seen before that are right next to you. life is amazing, man. It's amazing. And the most important thing about all of this is it creates certainty. And the reason certainty, and you said it yourself, the reason certainty is so important because it allows you to let go of the how you're going to get there.
Yeah.
Think about that for a second. I don't have to micromanage my path to my goal. I'm certain that I'm going to get there, so it doesn't even matter because I know, because I'm operating from the core principles of HIT. I'm investing in relational capital. I'm living the life enterprise, leaving people in a better place than they were before, creating space every single day with the people that I meet. And what does all that lead to? Quality of life, right? It's a simple concept. It's a simple concept, difficult to do because you have to catch yourself. You're at the store, the lady's cashing your stuff up. You're looking at your phone while you're paying and stuff. You're ignoring her. She's doing her job there. How do you think she feels? You're ignoring her. She sees 100 people that ignores her every day, or 200 people. What if you, hey, how you doing today? Awesome. I saw you here the other day. Are you always here on Tuesday? Just talk to them, but honestly, and truly care. When you truly care, they feel that the connection's there. Create space with them. Make them feel fantastic. It changes your life for the best because you're creating that radiant value. It just comes back and back and back. It's amazing.
You have to have that. You can't just show it while you're out. You have to do it when you're at home with the kids, when you're driving to work. Yeah, people in the car that don't think anyone's listening. The Bible says, don't curse a deaf man. Not because of what it does to the deaf man, but what it does to you.
Yeah.
And if you're doing that to yourself 1, 5, 10 times a day, or that's the way you live your life, you're probably not going to like where you're at in this world.
Yeah. It's true. And, self-dialogue it's there. When you meditate or you pray, for me, prayer always turns into sort of, it's almost like a meditation for me. I start praying, then it turns into a meditation, and I have self-dialogue. But I also have self-dialogue in the mornings sometimes when I'm not feeling so good. I've PTSD and all that kind of stuff from Iraq. And I embrace it. I say, okay, you're here again. You're back. Bring it. What do you got? That kind of thing. I'm looking in the mirror and I'm going, this is your day, man. It doesn't matter what comes. It's up to you. Because this is a little bit deep here, but if you look at any situation in your life and how you react, you can trace that reaction back to a thought that you had about what happened and not necessarily about what happened. You understand? So if you have an accident, let's say you're driving to work, you have an accident. First thing you do is, shit, I'm going to be late for work. Right? And you're like, oh man, the boss is going to be pissed off. I was late last week. Oh man, I can't afford this. This is probably going to cost a fortune. God dang it, man. And you just start going off. These are all things that haven't even happened yet. You're still at the accident. Talk to the other driver. Maybe it was his fault. He'll give you some bucks and off you go. But if you don't believe that, if you're thinking at the negative all the time and you're force feeding yourself what you believe is going to happen is actually going to happen, then guess what? It will happen. So you got to stop that rhythm, stop that habit and say, okay, what just happened? I hope the other guy's okay. Always be giving, right? Always be giving. It's like you want to be a conduit. You don't want to be the Dead Sea where water flows in and it doesn't come out, right? You want to be the conduit. It keeps your pipes clean, if you know what I mean, right? Nice and clean, crystal clear. Da, 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 da. Hey, are you okay? Are you all right? Oh, I'm so sorry. Hey, look, let's make sure you're all right. Are you okay? Okay, good. Okay, it's clear traffic. Da, da, da. Just take over. Bah, bah, bah. Still, quick story. We were in Peru, Lane, myself, and some other veterans, and we're driving on the road in a bus it was like the short bus, right? But tourist bus, and it was like 7 or 8 guys in it, all in a party. We're driving down there, and the car in front of us had it was a road cut into the cliff as it does, in Peru. Mm-hmm. And this car had went up on the cliff and flipped over on its roof, was blocking traffic, except some of us could get by a little bit. And there was like 30, 40 Peruvians there trying to, like, freaking out. No one knows what to do, yada, yada, yada. And I was like, stop the bus, get off, guys, let's go. Boom. We all ran off the bus, sort of got people out of the way, lined up against the car, 1, 2, 3, pushed up the car, pulled the old guy out, and then flipped the car all the way over, gave the old guy to the people, and got back on the bus and left. No shock and no nothing. Da, 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 da. We knew what we had to do, and we did it because we cared. Mm-hmm. We didn't look for press to see if we did anything. It's on video, but someone filmed it, and we didn't look for press. We didn't look for accolades. We didn't look for, oh, look at us. We didn't do it because we wanted to be heroes. We did it because it was the right thing to do, because we really cared for the people out there and some poor guy in the middle of the mountains there, whatever. And that's an example of just doing, right? Just doing the right thing, man. Mm-hmm. And the right thing means giving people your time when you're in front of them anyway. Like the cashier, the post office person, the guy on the bus, You know, the guy on the airplane, of course, you know, you don't want to be that guy on the airplane that talks the whole time, you know, but, you know,
Or too bad. Yeah.
I typically am, but I usually have a good conversation. I've made more deals on airplanes than I can even count. I used to fly 3 times a week, so it was fairly easy. Yeah.
Mhm.
You see, you lit a fire in me again. I love this, you know, and the cool thing about it is when you live this kind of life and you get to talk about it, it always reinforces that it's the right thing. You know, like when you start reinforcing, it reminds you every time you talk about it about how grateful I am for my incredible life. You can hear them laughing outside, right? So they're all having a good time. That's my life. You know, my wife's happy, laughs all the time, and you know, she's responsible, has her own business, and does what she wants to do, and ensures. I mean, like she said to me, she said because a friend of mine invited me to Italy next week for 5 days,
Mhm.
and in Europe where we can travel, and I was like, I don't want to go without you guys. She's like, you better go. You deserve it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's you know, what I mean, that's quality of life right there, man. And how can you know what I mean? No jealousy, no, I can't take us. Oh, you want to go by yourself? None of that. None of that. And for me, that's just amazing. You know, we're not responsible for anyone's happiness but our own. We're not. And if we are, then you have leverage, and that's not healthy in a relationship. Every relationship on the planet, professional or private, is based on integrity. Every healthy one, anyway. Yeah.
I can't think of a better way to finish on a positive note than everything is based on integrity. Steve, tell the audience where they can get a hold of you.
Sure thing. I think the best thing is on Facebook, Stephen Kuhn Official, Steven Kuhn, Kuhn Official is my Facebook page. I do a live every single day called The Daily Purge, and I've done it now 470 times. Maybe it's 570 times. I don't even know. It's just a long time, you know. It's almost 2 years. I stopped doing weekends about eight months ago. So I do Monday to Friday, and literally it's the purge. So whatever's on my mind, whatever I'm thinking about, it could be this, it could be that. It always has to do with development, leadership, winning, business, winning, that kind of stuff. It's always positive, and with advice that just I'm just purging because I'm thinking about it at that moment. Like I might have a discussion with you, and then you spark something. I'll just go on live and talk about it. And it's gotten I don't know how many views, a lot of views because I post every day. So it's a lot of fun. So you can check out the Daily Purge on Stephen Kuhn Official. My private page, unfortunately, is full. Other than that, QOLenterprises.com. My private website is stephen-kuhn.com. There you can see my speaker reel, a little bit of what I've done, my background, that kind of stuff, pictures with me and making all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you want to connect with us on a business level, even the nonprofit level, we're in the vetpreneur tribe.
Yep.
We're both in there providing value dang near every day.
Yep.
Stephen, this was great.
Well,
Yeah.
real quick to the vetpreneur tribe. Yeah, veteran. That's the largest online community of veteran entrepreneurs that there is. So if anyone's out there, a veteran entrepreneur, we also have the Warrior Council, which is a subscription for personal coaching and private consulting for your businesses and things like that. You know, we just add value wherever we go in any way we can. Lane and myself and the other guys that are joining us more and more on the team. And it's just one of those things that you got to know that when you meet someone like us, you got to expect to jump through hoops that you've never jumped through before, but you're going to find out they're actually quite big and not that high. Right? You just have to, what is going to get you there? We're going to get you there is belief. We actually have a program called the Humble Alpha Leader Program. And that's a year-long program where we do about 4 months of learning with you live, just us, you know, Lane, myself, and you. We do about 3 to 4 months of learning until you get it there. And then we do all about implementation and weaving it into your life so that you actually live the kind of life that we're talking about in the book. It's a very, very powerful program. So if anyone's interested in that, just drop me a line at Stephen Kuhn Official or my Facebook page or my Facebook, Stephen Eugene Kuhn.
Thanks so much, Stephen.
Thanks, Travis.